Hello, good evening and welcome. We've been down to the plots again with magical Mick Derbyshire, the professor of the plots, and we've been helping Mick to do a net up job on another trampoline framed hoop tunnel. You'll see it in this video. So not only can you do the plastic hoop tunnels, the grow tunnels, you can also do scaffold debris netting, Brassica tents. So these Brassica tents will protect your crops from the birds, any bird damage. They're not going to get in, you'll see, and also from cabbage white butterflies and things like that. They're going to lay their eggs onto your crops. In fact, they'll protect your crops from most flying bugs, apart from the very tiny ones. So yeah, have a look at this. We're just netting it up today. Go and check him out. Belo's there, my brother. He's on the plots with Magical Mick. Enjoy. At the back end of it also, I'm going to be doing a little bit more on my polytunnel. Again, trampoline frames on the polytunnel. See you in a bit. Oh, and don't forget to comment, like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell icon below. Thanks very much. Bye-bye now. So, the big trampoline Brassica tent is well on its way for the netting up. I've just nipped out to get some more zip ties, and he hadn't started this before I left. I've only been gone about 40 minutes or something like that. And what Mike's doing at the moment is he's got the 3-metre green scaffold debris netting, and he's done it as a central canopy going over the top there, and he's got the arches for aesthetic architectural effect, and then the side pieces, which is he's got the 2-metre black. I don't know if you can even make that out. That's 2-metre black scaffold debris netting. That's going down, making the side pieces up, and so you're going to have a two-tone effect. But it's brilliant, I think. That black looks, you can't see the black, can you? Yeah. I think we'll be better off with the black, won't we? The black netting. So yeah, that's what we're doing today. It's only going to take us about an hour, I reckon, really, to finish off the netting on this. Because like I say, while I've been away, Mick's done that. It's only been, what have I been, about 40 minutes, something like that. Yeah. Not long, is it?
Crack on, as Dave says.
Crack on! We're going to crack on. So yeah, so while we're fixing the black net, it's just the right length to fit to these bars, luckily enough, on the inside. So I've been on the inside poking the zip ties through. Mick's folded them over on the outside and pushed the sharp piece of the zip tie back through, and then I've zipped it up on the inside. And what Mick's doing now is he's just going around the bases and stapling the net into the base. There's going to be a bit of metric 2x1, you know, the thinner 2x1 patterning going across there just to finish it off. But for fixing it temporarily, he's using the staple gun, as you can see there, just to fix it down, and then a little piece of timber is going to go across the top of that just to fix it yet again, give it a second fix. There's all your zip ties. Once you've finished all this off, these can be trimmed off then. And there you go. Now if the butterfly manages to get, as you can see, I'll show you now, if the butterfly manages to get inside there, he's not going anywhere because there's a double layer of this netting. He's got to work his way all the way down through here, or she has, to lay her eggs, to get into the, they're going to have to cover a good metre of double thick netting to get into there, and I can't see any butterfly, even a ninja butterfly, getting in there. I think it'll be bulletproof. Mick will be sniping them as they come through. But as you can see, you've got a double layer there of the netting, which will definitely keep out the butterflies. Where these joins are here, they're not being interfered with. And that's very, very fine netting. So yeah, it's to keep the cabbage whites out and all the other little buggy pests. as many airborne buggy pests as you can keep out. Nothing in here will need pollination, you see, because it's going to be brassicas, it's going to be these alliums. Don't need the pollinators to pollinate them and get fruit. There's no fruit inside here, so keep as many of the bugs out as you possibly can. Only that one there. So yeah, we'll crack on. So as you can see there, that's the back face of Mick's hoop net. Trampoline frame hoop net tunnel. The black is much more see-through and less intrusive than the green stuff. I'll show you where, I think Mick's got the invoice for that, show you where he got it from. It was about 30 quid for a roll 50 metres by 2 metres of the black stuff. But he already had the green, which was the 3 metre wide.
We've got those two of the culprits. Those two of the culprits up there on that line. Lieutenant Pidgeon and his mate.
The devil's birds, them. But as you can see, what we did is we measured it out, give it an extra sort of 8 inches either side, so we didn't run out of netting when we fixed it on. And then where we found the centre point, where the bar runs here, and initially zip tied those first two on, and then as we were going along, we're zipping on. But because there's a curve there, you've got to roll it up a bit, keeping your lines relatively straight, as straight as you can. And then if you roll that round, then zipping it on, it gets fatter. Now you can trim that off, but really it doesn't really matter. It's like a bumper protector for the size of it when you get to the sides here. And yeah, it looks good, doesn't it? Got a racing stripe down it. Okie dokie, see you in a bit. So because we've got a bit of excess, obviously we made sure we've got the excess there to staple to, like Mick's doing. And that's your first fix. And as you do that, it pulls that netting, as provided you've kept it straight when you initially started to zip tie it on the sides. It keeps it nice, neat, straight and taut. Yeah. So all of those creases, the slight creases you can see there, as Mick's doing that pulls it taut, and therefore irons out the creases as we're going. That's better. It was a bit foggy before, there was a tiny little blemish on the lens, but I think we've sorted it out. So there, like I say, it's all taut, you can't see it, to be fair, can you, Mick, now that? Oh. You can barely see that, and I think black is the way forward, to be honest. Looking at that, there he is, the caged beast. Hey! Another one bites the dust, yeah. Another Western wagon to add to the collection. So that's all perfectly netted up. What Mick's going to do with them doors is he's going to net all the way across those doors, and so where there's a gap in between, there's only a small gap there with them bifold doors, but that'll be filled as well, won't it?
Yeah, I'm going to put a piece of net across the back.
Yeah, so there's a net on back face of it.
Yeah, where that gap is there, I'll just net it straight across there, so when it opens, it's leaching off, isn't it?
Yeah.
See the piece of two door on back here?
Yeah.
The stopper, I've got one on that one.
Like a backstop for the door.
Yeah, like that one there.
Yeah. Down there. But if you look round here, there's no way that the cabbage whites are going to get in here and lay the little eggs. That's the plan.
Cabbage white proof.
Cabbage white proof. Guaranteed from Wigan Trampoline Tunnels.
Look at that, I didn't think that'd be done today.
Well, it's easier, isn't it, when there's two of us on it, mate? It's a lot easier. We're going to be sorting out, if possible, next weekend. If we get a nice day next weekend, we'll be sorting out that polytunnel of mine, the trampoline polytunnel, and getting the sheeting on and all that next week. But at least we've got this one done and dusted. Like I say, we're going to put some timber battening down there just to finish the edge off that and to completely sort of trap in the tent where it's stapled there. But apart from that, the job is a blinder. Big thumbs up.
Second-hand tunnels.
Yeah, Wigan tunnels. Right, well the wash is on at the moment, but if you look down in the comments below, you'll see a link to old Mick Derby's farm, Magical Mick Derbyshire. Go and check him out. He's always up to stuff like that, and he's my mate from next door, so yeah, go and say hello. Alright, we're back onto my plot now, and we're going to take a look at the poly hoop tunnel, the trampoline frame poly hoop tunnel, as that progresses. Alright, see you in a bit. Okay, so we're back on the little farmer's side now, and we're going to be ready for sheeting this with the poly, the clear poly sheeting. So before we do that, all these little bits that are sticking proud have the potentiality to burst our bubble and split our sheeting. So what I'm going to do is go around with the white Gorilla Tape. I've chosen the white Gorilla Tape, which is expensive stuff. It's about £7.50 a roll, but it's also really, really good stuff. So we're going to go all around this. I'm going to trim off any bits and pieces like that, and anywhere that's protruding or potentially a rub area that could split our sheeting, I am going to encase in Gorilla Tape. Alright, see you in a bit. Okay, so with the Gorilla Tape, I've taped all the joint connections up, as you can see. And any protrusions, anything that's protruding, so where the bars connect together, I've sort of tried to smooth off that, so you don't have the metal edge. It's quite a rounded metal edge anyway, but I don't want anything to tear the, you see that, I mean that's not sticking proud, yeah, so that's fine. But I have taped them all, and where we had the stop bead bracket holding onto the timbers, that's been covered up with the tape. It's all essentially getting covered up with the tape. Anything metal or sharp that could be protruding is getting covered. Okay, and I've started to put on, it's called hot tape or something like that. It comes with the poly, and you put that onto your metal, and it's a sort of a spongy material with a thin plastic coating to it. That runs all around the bars, the hoop, and so the plastic, when you put the plastic sheeting on, doesn't make direct contact with the metal, because in summertime, in the heat inside the polytunnel, it's going to get very hot, the metal hoops, and so this protects the plastic from getting essentially melted or scorched by the hoops. That's the idea anyway of them. So yeah, I'm going to continue on. I'm going to finish that off. I've done the front there and the second one, so we've got another two to do, and then that'll be me done for today, because obviously we're not going to be sheeting it today. We're going to leave that for a warm day, a relatively warm day, dry and windless, hopefully, fingers crossed, if we ever get one. Okay, we've got a visitor here. Hello.
Hello, dear.
Just coming watching the progress. So
Nicer day today, isn't it?
it is nicer. It was lovely before, really sunny. Bit of cloud now, but it's not too bad. So I'll just see if we can show you the window that I'm putting in. That's the framing for the window. And whereas Mick's has got his that's going sort of like vertically, I'll be getting that one going horizontally, and that's just over 2 feet, that distance, because the twin wall, the 4mm twin wall clear polycarbonate, which we're going to be using as the window, comes in 4 foot by 2 foot dimensions. So that 2 feet that you can see there, or just over 2 feet, will be sufficient for it. So that's going to be the rising window at the back, the venting window at the back. At the sides we're going to have the risers, the vented risers at the sides, so that you get that flow of air that moves through the polytunnel. When it gets really hot and humid in there, you run the risk of getting moulds and things like that, blossom end rot, that kind of thing, because of the temperature and the humidity that's in there. It needs to go somewhere. Yeah, so the funguses and all the rest of it get dried out because it's well vented. It's like when you overplant stuff. If you overplant stuff and put too many of the same plants in one spot, there's nowhere for the airflow to go, so you get rotting off. So we're trying to avoid that. And as you can see, I've taped everything up. So the hot tape has been put on all the metal there, and so it's just ready now for sheeting up, for getting the plastic on. It's a pity, really, because we could have done that today, maybe, with the weather. But there's no massive rush. Mick was down, as you saw before, but he's been working all night long, Mick, and he was knackered, obviously. He's not been to bed yet, so he's just gone home, had something to eat, and got himself in the sack. And rightly so. But fingers crossed, maybe tomorrow, if the weather's nice tomorrow, we can get it done tomorrow.
Why is there that stuff underneath there? You've not got it on this side.
Because I've not dug it out yet. Now. You have to. I've got to undermine. I set the levels first, as you can see there. What my mum's saying is that there's membrane underneath this side of the timbers. But once you get your levels first, then and it's all set in place, you undermine it then, and then you slip those in.
Oh, right.
Yeah. That's why. Because that will be getting done as well, so that'll have to be dug out, actually. But it doesn't really matter whether we sheet it or not.
Yeah.
Because the sheet's not going to go down to the bottom on that. So that can be done at any stage, really, that. But it will be done, actually, before we get the beds put in.
Oh, yeah,
so that'll be
need it at the top as well, don't you? There?
Yeah, I need it at the top and at the front. It's all got to be done. But that's the actual trampoline part that the kids bounce on. And that's just been cut into strips. It's dead easy to cut as well. I thought it would be dead hard, but it's not. It's actually really easy to cut.
Is it rubberized?
I don't know. It's it'll be having gravel underneath it as well once you undermine it. Be sticking gravel, packing gravel underneath it, and that'll be a soak away, and it'll just help to protect the wood. That's the idea. Okie dokie. Right, I'll just turn this camera around and talk to you. So yeah, obviously as soon as I said I'm going to turn it around and talk to you, the wind started blowing gales. So I've come inside the greenhouse at the top. This is the twin wall 4mm clear polycarbonate that we've got here. Yeah, it's not letting as much light through, quite as much light through as glass does, but it's a lot more robust than glass. I.e., if things hit it, debris, stuff like that in the wind, it doesn't shatter. Doesn't tend to crack as easily at all as glass, so that's why I've opted to use that. And it's a lot cheaper as well. It's £4 for a 4 foot by 2 foot sheet of it, and it's the same width as the glass. So you can replace the glass that's in your greenhouses with that, and it costs less than half the price of a sheet of the same size glass. So, and it's dead easy to cut. You know, you can use either a Stanley knife or even scissors, decent pair of scissors. Cut it to the shape that you want. And you can see we've got the triangular shapes there, in the back. So yeah, that's us for this afternoon. This is Saturday. It's the second Saturday. Is it the 7th today? Something like that. Something like that. Of March 2020. This is Guru MURPHINDA signing out, and we'll see you on the plots tomorrow. Hopefully, if the weather is good, fingers crossed, we can get that polytunnel sheeting done. Either way, we'll be doing something down here. Sowing seeds, getting some potatoes in the buckets or in the ground. We'll be getting on with something tomorrow. So yeah, have a good night. Saturday night, as I say tonight, don't get too drunk. You've got to be up for the plots in the morning. We love you all. Bye-bye.